college player do you most identify with from your childhood?
Oh man. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really tried to play like anybody, I guess. I definitely look up to guys. Like this summer I'm studying Joe Burrow. So every summer I normally study a college player, either current or past, really normally past, and then a current NFL guy. So last year I studied senior year of Bailey Zappi. 'Cause
That's awesome.
he had a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, when I wanted to improve my presence in the pocket, anticipation, and just delivery. So I studied him, and I studied just calmness and coolness of Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. So I studied those two guys because that's something I want to get better at. And then this year I'm studying last season for Joe, which is one of the best seasons ever for a quarterback. And then 2019 Joe. So yeah, he's just elite, and I love watching him play. Yeah.
What specifically, you mentioned the pocket presence that you wanted to learn from Mahomes. What specifically are you looking for in Joe's game that you want to kind of adopt or understand better?
Yeah. I would say from 2019, to be a little more specific, for 2019, just their throwing the ball was just it was elite. Their vertical game, his ability to escape the pocket but remain a passer. Is something that I feel like I can do pretty well, and so that for sure. But just their play action schemes, their drop back schemes, the way he would go through his reads but stay calm in the pocket, and then for last year, we share the same quarterback coach, so a lot of the same fundamentals and mechanics that Jordan teaches us, he does it, very very elite. So I love to watch somebody who's better than me. And not the way of, I don't want to compare myself to Joe because he's, one of the best in the league, but just the way that he's doing stuff mechanically, I would love to try to be like one day. So.
Hey, Cade, I live in Greenville. Who's the best quarterback in the state, you or Lenore's?
They got a pretty good quarterback at Furman, so I'm gonna go with my guy there. Yeah.
You talk about getting better and, looking at other players. Let's talk about the video game. Is there a way for you to get better learning from the video game, or is it strictly I'm relaxing and having fun when I play?
That's a good question. I'll have to dive more into it, see if I can really get better from it. But I think that what I learned is looking at last season, watching my tape, and watching the teams we're going to play.
Do you feel like some of the runs, especially the one in the Pitt game, like your speed rating should be way up there, right?
We'll see. I just got to go check it out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it was about 3 points higher than I thought it was going to be. So
those are not final, by the way.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Never mind then.
But
maybe they can get it up a little more. I don't know. I was happy with it though.
I was talking to Dabo a few weeks ago, and he said that it felt like you got so much more comfortable running the ball last year. What changed?
I think just being able to get through my reads faster, honestly, just being in the system another year. It's not a guessing game. It wasn't a guessing game much last year in terms of just how I was getting through my stuff. So escaping when I need to, and not whenever I'm, not run from ghosts is kind of a term that we say, is when I'm sitting back in their pocket and, I've got time back there, and sometimes I would just run too early. And I got a great pocket. So being able to do that, but then when I am trusting my legs, just knowing scenarios, 2nd and 10, don't have to go throw a 15-yard out route, go get 6, 7, 8 yards and get ourselves in a good spot for 3rd down, is just putting drives together, keeping them alive, and also using them on 3rd downs and stuff is definitely big.
When it winds up being 65 yards, though, does it surprise you, or do you know it's in there?
Yeah. I haven't had many of those, and I had 2 or 3 last year, so those were pretty fun. Sometimes they surprise me. It just kind of happens. But it's definitely not because of myself. It's everybody kind of working together. So
you mentioned another year in the system, and we see a lot of guys kind of bounce around. As a quarterback, in terms of your development, how important is that to kind of have that system knowledge and that kind of institutional knowledge that you can build on year over year as you're trying to improve yourself?
I would say it's huge. I'm so thankful that I've been at Clemson for 4 years now. It's huge just because, you've got just learning the system over and over and over. It's like installing the same thing over and over. You're just going to get better at it. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and the faster you can do it. So I've loved being with Coach Riley in that system. It's been awesome. And it's definitely been a huge blessing that Coach Sweeney and Coach Riley have been there, pretty much the whole time I've been there, and Coach Riley, just not there in my freshman year, but it's been awesome. I think that I'm kind of the epitome of the word development, and why a lot of quarterbacks should, when I'm coming out of the high school, I'm wanting to go win, go to a great culture, but overall I want to leave that school better than when I got there, right? You want to go somewhere that you're going to get better and you're going to develop. And I was good my freshman year. I wasn't very good my sophomore year, but I just stuck with it. And what Clemson's done with me is develop me. They've gotten me better. So like if I'm a quarterback and I want to go get better, like Clemson's a place to do it. They're known for making players better, and I feel like I'm the epitome of that, of just getting better and taking a stride every year. I took a stride my sophomore and junior year. Still not where I want to be, but I'm hoping to take another step.
How much when you picked Joe to study the 2019 version of Joe? I mean, that was year 5 for Joe in college.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Penix and Bo and Joe and all these guys. It's a developmental game, and it's a developmental position for sure. You got freaks like Caleb Williams that are going to come out, and Trevor Lawrence. They're just going to come out and they're just really good right out of the gate. Some guys are like that, and but it's a developmental position for sure that you got to keep getting better at. There's a reason that Tom Brady was playing some of his best football in year 20-something. So, it's just kind of how it is, and it's fun. One of the most fun things ever, seeing yourself get better. It's been super fun. It's just kind of putting your head in the dirt and just going to work and coming out the other side. So,
how did you deal with that as a young player? Because I mean, you're at a place where Deshaun was great immediately, where Trevor was great immediately, and I think people look at the recruit ranking and think, oh, they just come in as freshmen and they're awesome.
Yeah, I've always been somebody who's never really been content with where they're at. I'm always trying to get better, and I'm never really satisfied with where I am in my work. So I knew that my freshman self, wasn't good enough. Not in the sense that good enough to win ball games, but just in the sense like I don't feel like I'm good enough yet. Like I just know I can still get better. Is kind of what I mean. Not that I'm not good enough, but just that I know I can still get better at these things, and that's exciting because when you have, when you're good at something and you know that you can still get better, it's really exciting. And not that, whatever, but it's exciting to see the last 4 years myself just be like, oh, I can't wait to get better at this. I can't wait to get better at that. So, but it's tough on freshmen sometimes because there's such high expectations. But you haven't, some of these guys haven't even played yet. And it's a different sport. So,
what location has the most difficult stadium pulse in relation to the game? Hardest place to play that you've played over your career?
Oh, that's easy. Clemson. It's easy. Yeah.
In terms of away games, where's the most difficult place to play?
Virginia Tech was pretty awesome last year. That's probably one of my favorite games I've played. Their fan base and just energy and everything. And I was a captain for that game, so I was out there for their stamina and everything.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. It was an awesome game that I got to be a part of. That was probably one of my favorite games. Yeah. It's definitely. I didn't really know a lot about it until getting up to it, but it definitely lived up to the hype for sure. It's awesome.
You and your co-cover athlete will be representing the beginning of college football this season for a lot of fans, thousands across the country. How does that feel for you, and what do you expect to have the reception of all of your friends that'll be picking up the game and seeing your face on the cover for the entire year?
Just a huge blessing, I think, more than anything. Just growing up playing the game and, playing 12, 13, all those, those are kind of the games that I grew up on. So huge blessing to be a part of it, and just really exciting. Yeah,
what
cool.
Teams did you play with when you were playing back as a kid?
Oh, man, everybody. Oregon, A&M, I feel like everybody, really.
You more of a dynasty guy or ultimate team guy?
More of a dynasty guy.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never really been an ultimate team guy. Yeah.
Who has the most game in the locker room?
game in terms of
On the video game.
on the video game. Probably Adam Randall's up there. I lived with him for 3 years. And he loves the game. Yeah, he loves to be on the game for sure.
What was your first reaction seeing a video game version of yourself?
The first version that I saw before they changed it looked nothing. I had like a bowl cut, shaved head, but then they got it right. So I've got a different hairstyle than last year though, so we'll see if they fix that. So, or they, not fix it, but change that. But yeah, the first one I was like, all right, but they got a lot of people in their hands, so I didn't expect it to be perfect, especially without no scans and everything. So honestly, I don't really care what I look like. It's pretty cool to not have to type my own name in there, just pop up there. That's what I did every time I got a new game growing up. So
QB number 2.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just roll in there and my name's on there, so it's pretty awesome.
Love it.
Sweet.
Great stuff,
Awesome.
dude.
Thanks, guys.
Nice, man.
Appreciate you guys.